Okay, so I've been making videos like crazy today, and I've been trying to fly through them just because I don't get a lot of time. But here is an update on me and what's going on in here, and how things are going with my transition. How things are going so far is pretty good. Like, I can't complain because there's a lot of people that haven't got as far as I have. So, in ways, I have to not be so selfish and thinking that I'm not far enough. But to me, I need to be further than what I am. So I've been looking into Phalloplasty and finding out more and more things about Phalloplasty. And the best resource I got was this Yahoo group. So the email group is off of Yahoo, and it's called F2M Phalloplasty Info. It's at Yahoo group. So FTM Phalloplasty Info at Yahoo group. And that has actually been the best help. I was calling for insurance to, insurance people, looking online and Google and all this and trying to educate myself. And I was going nowhere with it. And then I found this group, got accepted to it, and these guys have been through it. They're going through it, there's doctors on there. And it's just been very beneficial. So if you are interested in getting Phalloplasty, that is the way to go. What I found out for insurance in Michigan, Aetna is the only one that'll cover it. Now, Aetna is crappy insurance. They have me at a $6,500 deductible before they pay anything. That isn't co-paid, like my regular doctor visits and my specialist. Those are like $10 copay for a regular, and I think it's $75, something like that, for a specialist. They don't pay for blood work, so you have to pay that yourself. But those costs add to your deductible. So once you hit your $6,500 mark, then they'll pay. They have a separate deductible for drugs too, your prescriptions. So then that's a $500 deductible. So some of the stuff they'll pay for, some of the stuff they won't. I'm on some medications for my stomach that they won't pay for, but they will after I hit my deductible, which will be very easy because that stuff is very expensive. Another thing about Aetna is that you gotta stay within network or they don't pay a lot. So if you're looking for Dr. Crane, he is not in network with Aetna. He works with Aetna, but they won't pay Aetna's not going to pay 100%. I'm still working with the insurance. I just got it. So in March, I will be able to get my card, because that's when my insurance starts. That's when I'll be able to get my card to call Aetna and really get into what they're going to pay. And it all depends on what time of year, have you met your deductible, just like all these different items to tell you how much they're going to pay for your surgery and what you have to pay. So insurance is very confusing, and that I'm still going through. But for Michigan, that I found, Aetna is the only one that will pay for Phalloplasty surgery. Blue Cross Blue Shield, I looked into, little fuzzy. They say they'll pay for those procedures, like the codes. I gave them the codes, and they said they'll pay for those procedures. But they don't. When I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, they didn't pay for my testosterone, and they actually wrote me a letter saying that they do not pay for transgender related items in Michigan. So I went with Aetna. Then I looked into doctors, and everything going on with that, because Dr. Crane doesn't take Aetna. He's not in network with Aetna. He takes Aetna, but he's not in network with Aetna. So I looked at other surgeons that are in network with Aetna. There's one in Chicago, and then there's one in Michigan. And I'm not going to say why I chose the one in Chicago, but it's just I preferred the one in Chicago. I read more stuff about him, and I'm going to go with him. There's two in Chicago. There's one that takes Aetna in network, and then there's one that takes Aetna, but he's not in network with any insurance. So if by the time I'm ready, I'm hoping I'm ready in winter, this winter coming up, for surgery, and if he pays 80 to 90%, I'll go with him, because he's had a little more experience, and from the things I've heard, there's no problems with his surgery compared to the other guy. So I'm not going to say names. I'm just I don't like it to get into that, but if you want more information, seriously go onto that Yahoo group, because they will be very blunt and out there. But like, everything's really new to me. So Dr. Schechner is the one that I want to go to in Chicago. He's the one that doesn't take any, or takes insurance, but is not in network with any insurances. So we'll see how that goes. Other things to look for besides insurance and doctors is you are going to have to get electrolysis. Okay, I thought, I won't have to get electrolysis until like 6 months before my surgery, and thank God I looked into it, because the lady that I am going to said it's going to take 18 months, and it's $60 every time you do an hour of electrolysis. It's $30 for half an hour, $60 for an hour. So it's expensive, and I am a broke ass. I don't have a lot of money. I am a janitor for the school district, so I make shit. And so trying to pay for all my bills plus electrolysis and that, I'm taking out extra student loans to pay for all this. So I took out extra student loans to pay for my insurance, because I don't have insurance that'll cover transgender related stuff that my work gives, plus that's a whole different story. Their insurance sucks. So I went with Aetna, and yeah, so I'm taking out a whole bunch of loans. But hopefully there'll be a time when I can afford all of that after college, and be able to pay off all these debts. The way I look at it is that if I'm going to go into debt, I'm going to go into debt to make myself happy, and there will be always time to pay off debt. You're always going to have debt, so long as you don't go into so much debt that you go bankrupt, there'll always be time to pay off debts. And right now I'm in a situation where I'm living back at home with my parents. So I have this opportunity to kind of not have rent to pay for, or house payment to pay for like I used to, and I can get this stuff done. So that's why I'm kind of like in a rush to get it done. But it looks like I am not going to get Phalloplasty until the earliest of winter, and I'm going to try to do it in December, so then I have met my deductible. So I'm going to do it try to do it in December, because then I'll paid most of my deductible, and that way I won't have a lot of extra to pay for it. If I did it in the 1st of January, then my slate goes clean again for my deductible, and I would be paying all of my deductible instead of paying what I've, only the stuff that I haven't used yet or paid for yet. So maybe that'll be a little easier. I don't know if you can see it, but I did this. I drew this for Phalloplasty to get my electrolysis. I only had one treatment so far, but I drew that. I took it offline and mimicked it as much as possible because I haven't seen the surgeon yet, and I don't plan on seeing the surgeon until around July because I don't have insurance right now and all that, and I'm not going all the way to Chicago for nothing. So I wanted to start electrolysis as fast as possible so I can make those deadlines. And the lady that does electrolysis has never done an F to M patient. She's done M to Fs, but that's a totally different surgery. So she was kind of confused on the area that needed to be done, and she quoted me 10 sessions to cover the whole arm. Now that still may be, but she was thinking that the whole arm from like the top of the hand of the wrist, you know, all the way to here, and that's not the case. It's from like right here to here and around. So hopefully that'll give her a little more insight on what she needs to do. It's pretty accurate. I went a little extra on each side, you know, each side around, to make sure that I covered everything that needed to be taken off. So when I do go see the doctor in July, he can draw it, and I just can keep going over it and over and over it to keep that on there to make sure that she's getting everything that needs to be covered. If you got any questions, let me know. Alright, bye.